In this MagicView tutorial, we're going to take a closer look at using the clock and the weather widgets when we're designing a layout. So you can see I've opened up a blank canvas, and we're going to start by dragging in our S3 clock. On the right hand side we can see the properties associated. You become with a default of 5 minutes for the playback, which can obviously be changed, shows you your positioning and the size. If we go down a little bit further, we're going to find this button that says Configure. If I select that, it's going to give us a few options of how we can display our clock. I can change the time zone to match my location. We're in Taipei. I can choose between using a default digital clock or switching it to analog. If I'm using the digital clock, I can also add in the days of the week, and I can change the language of the display for that as well. And I can also make it a 24-hour clock. If I like, I can make it's either going to be a black background, or I can change it to transparent if I prefer. So we'll leave it at the default. I'll just drag another one in. And this one we will configure as the analog, just so we can see the difference. And you'll notice the shape will change because it's, instead of a rectangular, it's a circle. So let's just take a look at the preview and we can see the difference. So on the left we had our analog clock with the day and the week. If you chose not to, this part would obviously not show. And on the right hand side we have our analog clock. So that's pretty much all there is to setting up your clock widgets. Let's just get rid of those. And next we'll look at using the weather widget. So I'll drag one in, and I'll scale it up a little bit. And again, on the right hand side we see our basic properties associated with it. And if we scroll down, we're going to come to this button again that says Configure. And here we have a few more choices to decide with. We need to determine a weather server to give us the information. If you have a dedicated one, you can enter the proxy and the port numbers. If you don't, you can just search by a location. So we'll search for Taipei. And we see we have a few choices, and Taipei is our first one, so we'll select that. And then I can change the display language. You can choose between Chinese, English, and Japanese, as well as traditional Chinese, so we'll select English. You can change the display for Celsius or Fahrenheit, depending what you prefer. And you can also make a transparent background. So let's just see what that looks like. We'll go up here to our preview. And there we go. We get a nice weather icon showing the current conditions. The temperature tells us our location, and you also get a 3-day forecast. So that's just a quick look at the clock and weather functions, and we'll see you in the next tutorial.